a few weeks ago at Retropalooooza in Arlington, Texas, one of the longtime vendors that I've been buying for the past 10 plus years, OK Chief, hooked us up with a couple cool items like this. G.I. Joe sealed Light Bright to go with Becky's Light Bright
Childhood vintage light bright.
with a
Original.
box.
I do have the box for
Okay.
that. I need to show it soon. Another one that we picked up was this 1983. That's the date he has marked on it. I haven't done any research on this yet, but it is a phone that you can actually rotary call. They connect to each other with what looks like a very long cord, but I think that's just because we're wireless now and we don't see cords anymore. So we'll get out, we'll measure it, see how far it can go, but they're basically like walkie-talkies. You can talk from one phone directly to the other one. So we'll have to see if we can set this up some way in the house where you can call from one room to another. I don't know if they ring. We haven't gotten out of the, this isn't the original packaging, but OK Chief wraps all of his stuff in like this shrink wrap to keep them safe and together. And that way the price tags aren't on the original products and damaging things. So, but I'm excited about this one. It'll be fun to get out and play with it.
I also picked up Fang Ore from the Master of the Universe Origins line. This is one of the exclusives that I didn't know sold out before you even had a chance to look at it, and I was able to pick it up from him. So
Are we going to take that out of the box?
eventually,
Oh.
one down off the list, and only a few more to go.
And that's from the Origins line.
Yes, that's what I said.
Okay, sorry. I wasn't listening that well. Okay, cool. I also got this probably 1984. Does it say on there? You put 1983 on it. But everything from Rainbow Bright is listed as 1983, and products started really coming out in 1984. So probably 1984, 85. Starlight puzzle. It's a 3D puzzle, so like there's actually raised parts to it. It's a little bit different than your normal wood puzzles or other ones that you've seen. In the original packaging from Rainbow Bright line in early 80s. And again, this plastic wrap I think I'll probably end up taking off. But for now, it's keeping it all clean and together, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah. So we'd like to thank OK Chief for making these available to us. So another one of the items that I've been looking for a while, it's been on the top of my list, is the Mission Brazil G.I. Joe set from 1986. I was able to pick up Claymore last year at Pillar's Post.
In Missouri.
In Missouri. This
yeah.
past summer, actually. So it's
Yeah.
been this year. But Boston Mike, one of my friends, has hooked me up and helped me locate the four others. Now they're incomplete. They need a couple pieces, but they do have some of the weapons, and so I need to go find the weapons for them. But now I've got one step farther in my Joe collection.
Yay.
I picked up a few more Joes from Boston Mike. Nothing too outrageous. I only had one of the AVACs, so I want to get another one of them. He doesn't have his parachute, so I need to look for that. The Crocmaster was just too clean, although I'm never going to find his hose.
We did get a hose this summer.
Yeah, I had to buy a complete one.
Oh. Okay. That was at Pillar's Post too.
Yeah. And then,
So how many Crocmasters do we have now?
well, that's 3.
Oh,
I'm missing
only
2
three.
hoses.
Oh, we're missing 2 hoses.
Yeah.
If you have a hose, let us know.
Yeah, we need 2 of them. And then just Joes are in pretty good shape.
Where are those?
Wetsuit and Skid Mark. You like that name, right? And then Mike, I was able to get from Mike a whole bunch of loose weapons. And some more loose weapons and some headquarter parts. So I'm going to go through all my loose weapons, get them sorted and cleaned, and put together with all my other stuff, and look through my Joe inventory of what I need to get, and put it out there. I didn't actually look at my inventory when I bought them. I just looked I saw some good weapons, and just said, oh, I'd like to add these to my collection. And now I have some backups at least.
We like to add lots of things to the collection.
Yeah.
We do have a really large collection of G.I. Joe, but it hasn't been well showcased recently because we moved it into Aaron's hobby room, which also became a workspace for a lot of other activities and a lot of storage and extra everything that's not out on displays in there. So we haven't got it well displayed again in a while. So we've been working on that with the floating shelves and trying to get that space cleaned up finally, things put away that just don't need to be on the shelves so we can bring the Joes back out and showcase them to some extent. So Aaron has organized them very well over the last couple of years and got them all into bubbles for the loose ones and into totes and organized by year and each version. And You know better than I do. What all those.
So Joe is my first collection. Back in college, probably sophomore year, the internet was kind of brand new. There wasn't eBay yet. And I was like, I always wanted an 84 Storm Shadow. I never had one. I never had an 85 Snake Eyes or an 82 Snake Eyes. And so, particularly get that 85 Snake Eyes and the 84 Storm Shadow, I went online and actually was able to source them. I either second semester freshman year or sophomore year. I put them up in my dorm room and I had a couple Joes on the counter, and that kind of ballooned in grad
Became a
school.
thing.
And I started buying bigger lots in grad school. I started to amass a lot more Joe items, vehicles, and
Volume.
weapons and parts and a lot of figures and back then it was fairly affordable and and you could get a lot. You can just buy someone's collection. I was trying to sell them, and you could amass them. So I built that out, and after 20 plus years of collecting,
Yeah, we're over 25 now
Yeah.
of you collecting.
finally got them out of cardboard boxes. Finally started organizing them, culling out the quadruples, and
I showed up and said this needs to get organized.
I still haven't pulled out any of my figures. So I have over 1,100 figures, and I have 1,100 full cards or the card backs. And I have probably a 90% complete run of the mock cards, and I was going after all the box variations and all the full card variations, and so
There's a lot.
we've been but we've been organizing it, so it's been a fun adventure.
Even though it's not out on display, it's getting cleaned up and organized, and the best of the best is getting ready to be shown off.
After I spent so much time organizing, it's just such a massive collection. I didn't want to pull it all out to put on the shelves, but we will do that in the future.
So it's a work in progress. So just smile at the camera to start off with, though, because it makes it easier to cut from like a clean scene rather than us being like, ah.
There. A few.